presidential campaign has gotten both sides of the aisle fired up for different reasons. And she's joining us back at the Hot Topics table right now. Please welcome Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard. So, before I ask you the first question, what's happening with the telescope and the stuff?
Oh, gosh. The challenge is ongoing. The challenge is ongoing.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is that?
So,
just explain.
they decided, it was decided that they were going to go on sacred land.
Oh, yeah. I remember this.
And put up a telescope and do all this stuff. And the Hawaiians said, no, you're not going to do that. So it's been a fight. Tulsi's been at the forefront. Yeah. And I try to bring it up, you know,
I remember.
when I can, because it's, I think sacred land is sacred land. You can't, you know, you can't
anywhere.
mess with it. So I have to ask you this instead. So we were just talking about EU Ambassador Sondland changing his testimony yesterday, that he had to be refreshed about quid pro quo, and you've been skeptical more than a lot of the Democrats about the impeachment inquiry. Were you surprised by what he did yesterday?
Well, look, the facts are important, and we'll get to that. I want to start with something that I think is also important about facts, because recently on your show here...
I was just going to get to that.
Good. Yeah. Helping you out.
You want me to ask you the question?
Yeah.
No, look, some of you have accused me of being a traitor to my country, a Russian asset, a Trojan horse, or a useful idiot, I think was the term that you used. Which basically means that I'm naive or lack intelligence to know what's going on.
They use that.
I want to let your viewers know exactly who I am.
All right.
Set the record straight. I am a patriot. I love our country. I am a strong and intelligent woman of color, and I have dedicated almost my entire adult life to protecting the safety, security, and the freedom of all Americans in this country. It was the attacks on 9/11.
We're getting a little bit far ahead of ourselves, but Franklin Graham finds you refreshing. He doesn't find me refreshing. Richard Spencer, the white nationalist leader, says he could vote for you.
Joy, this is why...
I mean, you're on Tucker Carlson at least 10 times. Why don't you go on Chris Wallace's show?
This is why I'm here, because you and other people continue to spread these innuendos that have nothing to do with who I am.
Well, Hillary Clinton started it, and then you shot back at her, boy. You called her the queen of warmongers.
You doubled down, unfortunately, you doubled down on the baseless accusations that she made that strikes at the core of who I am. I'm a soldier. Because of the attacks on 9/11, I enlisted in the military to go after and defeat and destroy the evil that visited us on that day. I've served now for over 16 years, deployed twice to the Middle East during the height of the war, where every single day I saw firsthand the terribly high human cost. That's why I ran for Congress.
We actually have the clip of Hillary Clinton, just to put this in context of what we're talking about. Let's take a look at that.
I'm not making any predictions, but I think they've got their eye on somebody who's currently in the Democratic primary and are grooming her to be the third-party candidate. She's the favorite of the Russians. They have a bunch of, you know, sites and bots and other ways of supporting her so far. That's assuming Jill Stein will give it up, which she might not, because she's also a Russian asset.
So
really? I mean, this is outrageous. This is outrageous and offensive on so many levels. I've served as a member of Congress now for almost 7 years, receiving high-level national security and intelligence briefings, serving on the Foreign Affairs Committee, the Armed Services Committee, the Homeland Security Committee, working to ensure the safety and security of the people of this country. This is why I'm running for president, to continue that commitment of service.
So are you surprised, though, that when people see bots and things and all the things that we've sort of been seeing heading your way, that people have these questions? Because she's not the only one. Hillary, I don't think, is the only one. So what she's saying is she feels they are grooming you. You're saying nobody's grooming me. I'm doing what I'm doing because I'm a soldier and a patriot.
It's offensive to me as a soldier, as an American, as a member of Congress, as a veteran, and frankly, as a woman, to be so demeaned in
But you
such
called
a way.
her the personification of rock.
So
She's
demeaned
a woman
in such
too.
a way. Well, I'm pointing to the fact that she has continued this legacy of being the world's police around the world, that has waged wars costing the lives of thousands of my brothers and sisters in uniform. I'm speaking out against that and
What's
to
your evidence
change
to that?
to change.
Well,
Are you serious?
Let's hear it.
Are you serious?
Let's hear it.
I served in the war
Not
in
you,
Iraq.
her. You're saying that she's
exactly.
she's a
I
warmonger.
served
How do
in
you
the
come
war
up with
in
that?
Iraq
Yeah.
that she championed. She championed a regime change war
Did you not
in
believe
Libya.
in that war?
I believe the lies that were told to us.
Well, so did she.
Look, it is indisputable. It is indisputable to say anything other than the fact let me just close this out, that Hillary Clinton throughout her career has led with a foreign policy of interventionism and being the world's police, going and toppling dictators in other countries that has caused such destruction and loss of life. I'm against that. I'm running for president to change that. Rather than actually debate me on the issues, she and others are resorting to these smear tactic campaigns, seeking to undermine me, smear my character, and sending a message to anyone who dissents. Stand, toe the line, or you too will be smeared.
One thing you have not been afraid to do. And look, this is what this show's for. So thank you for coming on. This is what these conversations are for. But one thing that you've not been afraid to do is go up against your own party.
Yeah.
You even threatened to boycott the last debate. You say that the process has been rigged. Do you think it's been rigged against you? And would you ever run as an independent? Because you heard Hillary Clinton say that. There are other people that think that that's something that you will ultimately do.
No. Very clearly, and I've said no every time for months that I've been asked that question.
If the party's rigged against you?
Because I'm running to build a new Democratic Party, to take our party out of the hands of the corporate special interests, the greed and the warmongers, and actually make it so that our Democratic Party is a party that is of, by, and for the people, fighting for peace. Our party used to be the peace party. What happened to that? Actually be the party for the people, protecting our planet and fighting for peace.
Yeah, well, I think my biggest problem among many with Hillary's comments were if that were something people in Congress actually believed, there should be an investigation.
Exactly.
And they're not doing that, and I think you can't just throw things like that, which is trafficking in McCarthyism all the way. The term Russian asset goes back to the McCarthy era, and we can't be doing that to people who are veterans across the board.
Or to anyone.
Yes,
or
to anyone, but specifically the only female combat veteran running for office. You evoke really strong reactions from people. I know what that's like, from the left and the right. And you seem to be a threat to both sides. Why do you think you trigger so many people in so many different ways? Because I don't completely understand it, but I myself am a trigger, so maybe that's why I don't get it.
Because I'm speaking truth to power, and those in power know they can't control me. So they view me and the truth that I'm speaking as a threat to that power base. Whether you're talking about the military-industrial complex or the political elite who are in power in both political parties in Washington, those who would rather do all they can to maintain their own selfish special interests, to include self-serving politicians, rather than actually being a champion for, being a voice for, and speaking up for the people in this country who are struggling and who are facing many great challenges and who I'm seeking to serve.
All right.
What?
We're going to break.
All right.
We'll be back with more with Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard when we come back. So we are back with Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard.
So, you know, I
Joy?
just want to straighten a couple of things out. I've never said, and I don't think Hillary Clinton thinks that you're a witting asset. You might be an unwitting asset. Not that that means you're stupid, but people can be used.
Well, that's exactly what it means, though.
But
That's exactly what it means.
The other thing that
And
confuses me,
it's-
wait, I have one more question. You're on state TV all the time. Why do you go on
What's
Fox,
state TV?
Fox Channel, which is a
She's trying to reach out to another
propaganda network, 16 times with Tucker Carlson? I never see you with Chris Wallace or that other guy, what's his name, Brett Baer.
Well,
Why aren't you on with them? They're definitely middle of the road. Why do you go on with Tucker, who's a liar and a propagandist?
So let me start with how offensive it is to say that I am a witting or unwitting asset of a foreign country, working against the interests of our people and our country, the
Not
country that
deliberately.
I am willing
Not
to lay my
deliberately.
life down for. So if you're saying it's not deliberately, then you are implying
It could be.
that I am too stupid and too naive and lack the intelligence to know what I am doing. That is extremely offensive
Can I get you to put the
me
quote
and to
up?
every
Can you
woman
guys
of color.
put the quote back up? Because I think everyone is sort of missed something.
What are we missing?
Well, I think what you're missing is that that asset had nothing to do with Tulsi. She was talking about Jill Stein.
Actually,
No, yes,
her
said and an ass.
spokesperson confirmed it.
I'm not making it.
They called you a Russian doll.
Her spokesperson confirmed it because some of the media followed up and asked for her spokesperson to say what she meant and confirmed that they were talking about me. So there was no mistaking that.
Right. Okay, well, that's
Okay,
clear.
well, the quote that we saw, I'm sorry, I just want to point out the quote that we saw wasn't...
Well, they never named her. They never
Right.
named
She's
Tulsi.
saying
She's talking, assuming Jill Stein will give it up,
Why
but
are
she
we
might not
rehashing
because
this?
she's also a Russian
I mean,
asset.
this
It was
was
crazy.
after that quote was made.
Right.
Media across spectrums
Went
were
berserk.
reporting about what Hillary Clinton just said about Tulsi Gabbard. You raised a second issue about why I go on Fox News.
Yeah.
I go on Tucker Carlson, go on Brett Baier, go on Sean Hannity, go on MSNBC, go on CNN. I am here to speak to every single American in this country about the unifying leadership that I want to bring as president. Not just speak to those who agree with me,
It's nice to think that that
but
could
to
happen.
speak with those who may disagree with me, recognizing that I'm asking for the opportunity to serve every single person in this country. We have to come together
Joy, you used
for
to go
our
on Fox.
country and our country's future.
You used
They
to do
become
Fox and
outrageous.
Friends.
They lie all the time.
Well,
They just lie.
I think the reason why so many Republicans respond to you is because you don't treat us like we're garbage. You actually care about the audience and care about reaching out, which to a lot of conservatives, which by the way, you're going to have to win them over to get to the White House one way or another, is important. And I think just negating all of Fox's audience, I called Elizabeth Warren to task on it.
Not their
when she
audience.
came
We're
on the
talking
show.
about Tucker Carlson
Well,
right now.
he
But
has a
Sean
I'm there to
Hannity.
speak to the
Two
audience.
liars.
And you're
They both have some of the largest audiences on television
Yeah.
today. But I do want to ask you something else. Kamala Harris said recently that her race and gender are, quote, the elephant in the room, and that many still question if America is ready for a woman, and specifically a woman of color, to be president. And you're also a woman of color.
Yeah.
Is that, you feel, been a problem for you? And do you agree with her?
No, I think the American people are ready for a president that will put people ahead of politics, put people ahead of profits.
Then why is she saying that, you think?
You have to ask Kamala that. I can't speak to why she's saying that. But what I've seen in our travels across New Hampshire, we just came from New Hampshire yesterday, across the early states, we have some New Hampshire people here, is we are building a coalition of support that is very diverse. Yes, it crosses party lines. People who are looking out for the best interests of our country, which, by the way, makes me the best candidate to defeat Donald Trump so that we can then begin to do the very important work that begins the morning after to bring about the systemic change we need to see to take our government back from the rich and powerful who control it and make it so our government is truly of, by, and for the people.
Day one, you wake up as president. Do you say, first 5 big companies are going to return money to the people who are here? Maybe mixing up some of Andrew Yang's plan of how to do that. Do you say you're going to be able to write stuff off again so you can take your family on vacation if you need to? Is that your day one?
Yeah, I think day one starts with making it so that, for example, with healthcare, we do not have big insurance and big pharma at the table as we're writing legislation to make sure that our healthcare policies are actually serving people and not driving up their profits.
But you're going to give us some money back?
Yes. The money, look, this is a fact, though. The money has been going. You have all these tax loopholes and giveaways that we saw with the last tax bill that was passed by Trump and the Republicans that were, by and large, a huge, huge boon to those with the very most and leaving the rest of us behind, maybe with a few crumbs along the way. It's completely changing the paradigm of what our government is doing and who we're serving.
Right. So day
putting
one,
people first.
you putting us back.
Day one and every day
You're
that
also
follows.
not going to take my guns. Appreciate that, too.
All right.
I will. I'll take
Well, maybe not all of them. Thanks to Congresswoman
Thank you.
Tulsi Gabbard. We'll be right back.